everyone, and welcome to Slowbro Pod. No, this is my set review for XY Breakthrough. I think a very interesting set. A lot of people seem to be disappointed by it, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's adds a lot of variety. Standard format, that matter. But anyway, let's get into this. I want to make it as possible, I guess. But I still want to get into the cards that I personally, I guess I just want to see the potential have. So I probably won't go through like every single card, like basics, well, basics not including Cacnea, Paris, or Pansy, simply because obviously that crazy is not like a deck revolved around them, unless it's like the hoot sets, but I'll get to that later. Anyway, Parasect. This one is quite interesting. Secondary attack, I wouldn't necessarily say would be that useful. X's with the pointed heads and stuff damage, but I do think the primary attack seems a little more helpful. Kind of like, I guess you could say, like both Ronans. Shoot 3 Pokemon, shoot regular Pokemon, go into those Pokemon, search your deck for the type of basic energy. So if you're playing a deck full of, I guess, different types of enemy cards, let's see, metal and fighting and fire for some others, and you're running all those together, this could help out a little bit. If you have some inconsistent deck, you can grab those basic enemy cards and put them onto all 3 of them. Oh, let's use 3 Pokemon. But yeah, very interesting though. Kind of nice ability. Whether or not it'll see more play, maybe the same amount of play using Volcano, I don't know. Seems like it'll be easier to get out compared to that. Have the Force a Giant Punch. That being, so just to go over. Then we have Pinsir. This one I think is interesting, but of course, I guess it's up to interpretation whether or not it is. Okay, so overhead throw, 30 damage. This does 20 damage to my henchman. So it does 20 damage to your own Pokemon. It is 30 damage for 1 energy, but you are doing 20 damage. There's not many decks that can really, I guess, benefit off of being damaged. Let's say like Magikarp or something, Gyarados, or maybe even Machamp if you want to damage yourself and build up the damage with primary attack. That too could be a possibility, I guess, but aside from that, it's going to be a detriment the entire time. I'm not too sure if that's going to be. Heavy Suplex, 40 plus, this deck does 20 more damage for each colorless in your opponent's active 3 cost. So, with things like Floatstone coming back, I'm not too sure how powerful this is, but if you could catch one of your opponents off guard, I think like Seismitoad, this would knock out a Seismitoad if they didn't have answer. Chances are it won't. It'll do 40 and plus 20 for 3 retreat costs, so it's 60 damage plus 40. 100 and then multiply that by 2. So, I mean, whether or not you want to see well, I guess tech the same for a counter Seismitoad, you will need to put 1 energy soon enough. But if you're going to be an item locked by that point, who knows? Alright, then we have Sage, Fire Fling, put 3 fire energy cards for this card called. I don't think that applies with the burning energy, because burning energy, I think it says it's colorless until it's attached. So I don't think new burning energy will be applied with this, but only attaches or grabs fire energy. I mean, I guess that's pretty useful if you don't if you run out of blacksmith. Nice little utility. But Sage has this attack called Hand Fling, which is essentially like Gourgeist attack. Does 10 times the amount of damage for every card in your hand. I think this one's, well, unlike Gourgeist, you can't attach a grass energy. Increase its HP by like 100 or So it doesn't have that going for it. But it does have a grass type, quite useful. You can combine this with evolutions. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using other ages or simians, whatever simians, before simians. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend using the other sages or semi-cores, semi-trees, simply because this one can utilize all those typings. Bad, I guess. Then we have chestnuts. Then we have chestnuts. A little difficult to read because oh, Spike Lariats, 60 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon has already has a damage concept, that does 60 more damage. So for 3 energy, 1 grass, 2 colorless, it's not too bad. Because it's 120 damages. Yeah, it must have been 140. And if you're playing with bats too, maybe combine that with like Golbat or Crobat, it's 160. Whether or not this is to play, not too sure. Maybe because of the new break. I don't know who wants to play that new break, but that's interesting. Okay, Adamantine Press, 100 damage, during the any damage done to this Pokemon, max is reduced by 20. So, I mean, it's nice because it gets to reduce your opponent's attack. That's only 100 damage for 4 energy. Can't necessarily see that being, but it's not going to stop me from playing it, maybe. Not too interesting. Okay. Alright, then we have the Chestnut Break, Tough Hammer, 160 damage. Your opponent does 30 damage to itself. This deck does 30 damage to your one as well. Huh. So, yeah, of course, if you take 2 damage, but you get to attack. And 160 damage. So, I don't know how break evolutions work. I mean, I'm not sure if it can evolve it that very turn you have it in your hand, or if you have to wait another, much like an ordinary evolution. Whether or not Force of Giant Plants will assist this, and I guess it's to be or not to be. So I don't know. I'm interested in these breaks. I just don't know whether or not anyone will be able to utilize them quickly enough, or getting fainted or being licensed without it. But let me see. This is 190 HP, so I guess it's not too bad. If it does synergize with Force of Giant Plants, maybe I can see. It still requires too many to even get it out. It's 4 evolutions. Pretty crazy. It's a lot. There's anything else. And there's Pupa Vivian, which I think looks very, very interesting. It has nice utility. With the ability Energy Color, once during your turn before you attack. Point, if heads, search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to one of your Pokemon. So, basically, it's you basically just get to flip a coin. If you get heads, you get to search for a basic energy card. I can see this being useful if you have a lot of Vivians in your bench, but if you fail them, like if you majority of your like flips, it's essentially going to be just wasted space. But I mean, it looks interesting. There is no way of reflipping abilities. Trick Coin only affects active, so there would be no way to exploit this embedded in it already. Okay, and then Sleep Powder, 60 damage. The opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Not too bad, but not the best. Okay, then we have Go-Goat. Go-Goat. Overrun does 10 damage, but it does 30 damage to your opponent's one of your events. So, even with the Muscle Band and like evolutions, maximum damage you're getting is about 60 for weakness and Muscle Band, and 30 damage to the band. Not impressive, but it is 1 energy, but you'd have to basically build up an entire convoluted strategy to get off 90 damage. May not be worth it, but I mean, let's see. 1 leech, 90 damage, 30 damage. Very, very in line. I think so. Then we have Typhlosion, Massive Eruption. This one looks interesting. 80 times the amount of, well, you discard 5 cards, but for every number of energy cards discarded. So it doesn't have to be fire energy, as long as it's just regular energy. That does 80 damage for every single one of them that you discarded out of 5. And this isn't one of those, look at the top 5 cards if that's there. You're discarding 5 cards for 1 energy. But For every energy, of course, you do 8. With a muscle band and 1 energy, if you get even 2 energies, you could potentially do 160. Which is pretty insane, but you are running yourself thin. Very. I guess use that one with caution. One of those decks that lets you utilize like hundreds of energies. Well, obviously it's a federation, but yeah, at least like 50 energies or something. I mean, good luck getting Cyclosion up. Then we have Flare Destroy, 130 damage. Discard an energy card to this one, and discard an energy attached to your opponent's one. It is pretty cool, actually. You can utilize things like, obviously, Blacksmith, and you get to discard your opponent's energy as well, so there's that disruption as well, so I think it's pretty cool, personally. And obviously, if you use the burning energy, you get that energy straight back. You don't have to worry about it. Just 3 energies, 30 damage, not too bad. I honestly like this card. I mean, it's been a very long time. Better than second card in general. Yeah. Okay, then we have Houndoom. Melting Horn, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent. Not too bad. I guess it's just like Bunnelby, but in one attack you don't have the option of sending one of your discarded cards back into your deck. Get that, or Grand Flame, 3 damage, attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench players. That's pretty cool utility. You have to do 50 damage, and then 1 energy from yourself. So if you don't have any blacksmiths at the time, or you can't really use your other supporters during your turn, this helps a little bit. It's only 50 damage, but of course, accelerate it. And then you have Mega Houndoom, which I think personally looks pretty cool. Not many people like it because it's not unique in the sense that it has like a it has like this world destroying attack. But I mean, it is 2 energy for 160 damage. The thing is, it offers you an option, so you may discard all fire energy. So you don't have to do 160, but I mean, obviously, doing 80 damage or 160. People were saying either you can play like full retrieval or whatever, and then put on this one to bed or something. I can see simply the attack by itself being very, very, very crazy pressure for only 2 energy. If you manage to get this out in like a second turn or whatever, I mean that's 160 damage in just 2 turns. And you attach them, even if you have like a burning energy blacksmith. I think it'll apply a lot of pressure to you. Yeah, let's see some use. Might be a little underrated. Well, let's see how it performs. Okay, now we have Simisear, which is the same as the Simisage, just I think this one does water energy rather than fire. Kind of odd. Nothing too interesting there. It's the same thing as the other thing. Then we have Suki. Let's see. Okay, so this one looks interesting. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn, that is 80 more damage. That's 90 potential damage for 1 energy. I guess if you had any ways to damage yourself without an attack and then healing yourself with Rough Seas and then attacking with this, I mean that could be pretty crazy. Honestly, but how that's gonna be pulled off, we'll just have to see. I mean, we have plenty of cards that are disposable. Maybe at one point someone will figure out a way to directly and oh, maybe we could do like I was thinking about like the stadium, the 2 Magnesuit, but you'd require. Well, I guess you could use that stadium and like potions or something, or yeah, potions. But even then, it's still a pretty long shot. Still have to require a lot of other things just to do 90 damage, but 90 damage for 1 energy. And then Reckless Charge, 40 to 10. Not interesting. And this is Starmie. We actually have a okay. Deep Sea Swirl, shuffle your hand into your deck, and draw 7. Not too bad for utility's sake, but not the best idea. Still, you still are drawing. And 30, if your opponent has the same number of cards, bench, your opponent's activates. Okay, now sorry. If you and your opponent have the same number of bench Pokemon, opponent's active Pokemon. So 30 damage and insta-paralyzation, but you do require the same. They seem a little too conditional, so not really worth it. And I don't think the primary attack Unfortunately, that won't be play. Then we have Artillery, which I think is a really cool card. It's essentially just, well, I guess you can call it a Shaman or a Delphox, more so like Delphox. With the Abyssal Hand ability, once during the turn before you attack, 5 cards. So that's actually not too bad. It's good that we're getting more Pokemon that can utilize abilities like this with Call Power, and honestly, that's pretty cool. Whether or not this will see more play than Shaman, probably not, because at the very least, Shaman is a basic much easier to find rather than having a Remoraid on the bench and evolving this team. Or at least you can you can reuse the ability to every turn, as long as it's not knockout or your ability. Yeah, essentially, it does seem a little useful, but whether or not it will see more play than Shaman, debatable. Okay, Hug 40 damage. Defending Pokemon can't recruit during your turn. Let's see. Well, actually, not that great, considering it costs 3 energy. Then we have Glalie, which I think is going to be a pretty powerful contender, maybe. But, well, this by itself, not the Mega. I mean, the Mega's pretty cool. We'll get to that. Ice Breath, flip a coin if heads, your opponent's attacking. Nothing too interesting, no different. But, instant freeze, 50 plus damage if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. That does 100 more damage. So, you're getting a card called Judge in this set, which makes both players shuffle their hand into the deck and draw 4 cards each. So, you have almost a band already attached and the energy already attached before you get Judge. You can obviously do 150 damage or 170 damage. Just 3 energy. And not only that, but you disrupt your opponent's Judge. Or that if you're just playing your cards right, so you have the same amount of cards. Not too bad, honestly. It doesn't require Judge, but Judge helps. I still think this is amazing. Whether or not Judge would be a good card on its own, I can't be certain. But yeah, looks very interesting. Then we have Mega Glalie. Okay, this Pokemon doesn't have any traits or abilities, but it does have a pretty cool attack. Cryo Mouth, 100 plus. This Pokemon has 10 or more damage to it. This attack does 150 more. So that doesn't mean 10 damage. It doesn't mean when it's down to 210. It means when it has 10 damage counters, every counter counts as 10 damage. So that's 100 damage. If it's down 100 damage, down to 120 or below, you can basically use the secondary effect, which is pretty devastating. 150 damage. Man, you're gonna be knocking out everything. Even Wailords. That's not too bad. But of course you do run the risk of obviously low HP and knocked out very easy. But in the event, obviously, the opponent's not able to knock you out, you could Lysander out all your opponent's strongest Pokemon. Bam. Suddenly it's gonna be super difficult against the play. Okay. And we have Empoleon, which I think I'm quite excited for. Each of your basic Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to your... Of course, before applying. I think that is pretty cool. I mean, basic Pokemon in general are pretty powerful as is. Now you get to add 20 more damage. I guess if you wanted to use a combination of this and Archie's, or just using Empoleon in general, a lot of basic Pokemon can do a lot of damage. I have a weird, I have this weird idea where I want to combine this with, like, what is it? Torchic. Because the little Torchic with the Barrage feature trait, it seems like it'd be pretty cool, but that's just a troll. I might have to play it expanded though, because I want to combine it with it. That's irrelevant though, but yeah. 70 damage, 2 energies, that's actually not too bad. Considering most Pokemon like these, like these super Pokemon, only require like 3 energies. Low damage, and this odd second effect. Not too bad, I guess. Energies. And then we have Abomasnow. I actually haven't seen this. Ice Age, 80 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is a Dragon Pokemon. Huh. I guess for the amount of Giratinas that we've seen, this could do 80 damage plus 20 for most of them, maybe. And it's paralyzed, so not too bad, I guess. Not a bad card, I guess. And then Frost Breath, 1/2. Of course, City 4, just like the City 6. Then we have Deluxe, which is the ice cream. Frigid Breath, 30 damage until your end of your next turn. Player can't play any supporters or stadium cards from physical per hand. Okay, so basically this means once you use it, your opponent can't play any for any stadium or supporters, and then your next turn you can't play either until you stop using it. This seems interesting, but I don't know. Does locking yourself from supporters and stadiums seem... I'm not so sure. I suppose whatever you have in your hand at that given moment, or whatever stadium's in play at the moment, I guess it'll help whoever stadium is. But this looks interesting anyway. The stadium supporter lock. Not a fan of locks, but I mean, at least this seems more balanced for both players. Deep Freeze, 70 damage at the point. If heads, your opponent's paralyze if tails. It's one of those double-sided effects. So both heads and tails will still technically benefit you. Not too interesting though, but yeah, 70 damage for free. Confusion or paralysis. Then we have... wait, is there no Greninja in this set? Wow, okay. Yeah, there's no Greninja going with this Froakie here. And this Froakie isn't better than the other Froakie. Because the other Froakie 50 HP, and you don't have to utilize the Hello Starter set. That one. That's... And then we have Raichu, 90 HP, can be searched over Low Ball, that works. Clinic Clap shots, like it's 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon's expert. Oh, to each of your opponents. Wow, okay. Wow. Your opponent's playing like, let's say, Giratina, or, let's say, like Giratina with like, Aegislash, and of course, Hydreigon on the bench, all that stuff. That is a lot of damage. Or even Poison Sword, I guess. Or Rayquaza. Yeah. Rayquaza, it still does a lot of damage, I guess, for just 200 damage to every one of them. That is not too bad, I guess. If your opponent plays a lot of EXs. You know, at least like a 1-0 tech maybe in Raichu decks. Just try it out. I'll see why not. And then, of course, Electro Smash. 70 plus damage with the point of heads. This deck does 70 more damage. Or 20 more damage. Oh man, 70 more damage, that would be insane. I would say that would be justification for using a Muscle Band, or not a Muscle Band, a Trick Coin instead of Muscle Band. But aside from that, it only does 20 more damage. Nothing too interesting. I guess the Thunderclap really is potential that Raichu has. Raichu bad. Oh, and then we have Raichu Break. Anyways, Grand Bolt for 170 damage, 3 energies, discard all energies Pokemon. So, obviously, 170, and you get to discard all you have. Pretty good for those things, like, all basic Gexes. Not Megas, of course. But if you have a Muscle Band, you can knock out everything that ranges from 170 to 180. I don't think there's really any Gexes yet, or Megas, or I think there's one Mega. But yeah, not too bad. It is potentially dangerous. It still just depends on how fast you can get out a break. I really hope it is like where you can just simply place the break down as soon as you're able to. I don't know. I would think that'd be too slow otherwise. Okay, and then we have Magnezone, which actually looks really cool. So this Magnezone is essentially a Deluge Blastoise, but obviously for electric energy. As often as you like during your turn before your attack, you may attach a electric lightning. As often as you like, so bam, if you have like 20 electric energies and there you go, you have 20 on not too bad. I like that one. And Thunder Blast, 100 damage, 3 energy, discard a lightning. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I do like this magnetism. There aren't that many powerful electric attackers standard anymore, so maybe it's not some play, but for other, I guess, colorless attacks, I guess, it doesn't have the utility as Blastoise does, because you can't, what is it called? Arch use it. But yeah, it still seems pretty. I like it. Ooh, now we have Raikou. This Raikou's interesting. 120 HP too. It's actually one of a pretty big electric basic next to like Zapdos or Kevin format. The Shining Body, this Pokemon has any electric energy, lightning. But any damage to this Pokemon is reduced by 20. So it's just a hard charm in the form of you have an electric energy. Not really that interesting. Lance, 50 damage plus 20 damage for each electric energy. Basically, 110 damage, or if you have all 3 electric energy combos. I can see this being used with Magnezone maybe. And it's pretty, it's pretty powerful, 110 damage. But it's 3 energy though. Who knows? Okay. I do like it. Pretty cool. Then there is Stunfisk. Yeah. Revenge. Oh, as Revenge. Okay. Wow. So 20 plus if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack during his return. That does 80 more damage. So it's kind of like Buffalant or Druddigon, cards like those, where you get to Drakion, where you get to come back from one of your Pokemon being knocked out and do a certain amount of damage for that. So it's 1 damage for just 2 energies if you force it. That. And Thunder Blast, 80 damage, discarding energy attack. Nothing too interesting. I guess it's all about the revenge if you want to play a revenge. It is an electric Pokemon. That I guess. Drinking water. But then no. Okay, I'm actually going to look at Hunter because Hunter has a pretty cool ability. Play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. Both active Pokemon can be used. I personally really like FX. Whether or not, obviously, Pokemon will be able to use this with other Pokemon. This is the. So, of course, there are things coming back like Bloodstone and Dora now, so it will be a little easier for people to freely compete. But I mean, if your opponent's not utilizing cards like that, I suppose it can be easy. I like it though. And then poisoning your opponent's active Pokemon. It's now poison. That Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent. Oh wow! So you can also utilize this too. Ooh, but this Gengar, which I thought quite a while back, actually looks really cool. So Sinister Fog, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned with 1 damage counter on your opponent. Each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's pretty cool too. I like to meet somebody on that. But the creep show is what this Gengar is all about, really. So if your opponent's active Pokemon has 3 or more damage to on it, that Pokemon is now knocked out. Holy crap! 3 energy. I mean, 3 damage counters. I'm getting my word mixed up on 2. Sorry about this card, but man, 3 damage counters, and that's an instant knockout. People were saying they either want to like combine this with like Greninja or Bats or anything else really, like you just deal damage beforehand without having to guess. That is pretty cool though. If you're able to pull this off successfully and like consistently, well, this could be pretty scary. But it's stage 2. It has that going for it anyway. I do personally like it a lot. And then we have P2EX, who's finally coming back, but he's a little lackluster. Okay, so this Photon Wave does 30 damage during your opponent's next turn. Any damage done by attacks from the defending Pokemon immediately. I mean, the bright side is you can use 1 energy in Dimension Energy. Use that, but I guess we wanted to use like Muscle Band. It's just versatility, I guess. But I mean, not too interesting. And then Sideburn is just like there. Oh, and then we have another variant of Mewtwo, and does 30 for damage times the amount of psychic damage. Even if you were to have like 3 psychic energies on top, it would only be. That doesn't take into consideration your opponent's energy as well. I mean, it looks interesting. Then damage change. Switch all damage counters on this Pokemon with those of your opponent's. So, let's say this Pokemon has 5 damage counters onto it, so it's down to 120. One has 0. And you would switch those, and this would be full HP back to full HP. I think that could be quite useful. How often we'll see this one played is... I guess not many people are crazy about attacks like these, but it looks interesting. Then we have Mega Mewtwo X. Or... just X. Everyone knows Mega Mewtwo. Anyways, Vanishing Strike, 1 damage. If there's any stadium card in play, this attack is 50 more damage, and this attack isn't affected by resistance or any other effects. Basically meaning Regice. It goes straight to Regice, so just punch crap out of Regice. But of course you do need to have stadium. That's 200 damage. But the only problem is obviously the wacky variation of energy compared to its I mean, I don't know the reasoning behind why they wanted to make it fighting, even though I know it is basically part fighting, but by the card standards combine other, I guess, psychic type or other type, secondary typing, unless they were like dragon type. It's kind of odd, but it is that exception. I think, I guess with this, if you're running Smeargle, and if you have use Compressor to put fighting energies for pile, charge up a second for that. And you can obviously switch those slowly. But aside from that, very odd. But I like it. Then we have Mega Mewtwo Y, which is the one everyone wants to play, which is understandable. Pokemon does 10 damage plus 30 damage for the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. So, you have like 3 energy onto this, you gotta do 90, but if your opponent has 4, you gotta do 130 or 120 plus, obviously, additional 100. That's a lot of damage. But of course, how often are your opponents gonna have like 4 energies attached to their Pokemon? I guess Giratina. They work well against Giratina. Or even Mega Rayquaza, that'll add like 9, but it won't be enough unless you have like 4 energies. Either way, it's still pretty cool. It's basically just a revamped, more upgraded version of the previous feature, which I think is cool. Then we have Miss Magius. Okay, this is an odd guess. When you play this Pokemon from your roll when your Pokemon heal, or you may have your opponents you may have your opponent shuffle his or her hand into the deck and draw the amount of cards for the remaining prize cards. So it's basically like N, but it only works when you evolve this Pokemon. The thing is, you can use this, but you don't have to utilize the abilities. I guess if you ever wanted to evolve this without actually utilizing its ability, I see if you wanted to use it as an attack. Aside from that, though, I think that's the only real reason you want to play. If it'll see any play, that's the I personally think it's just too conditional. I don't think you'll see that play. Then we have Wobbuffet, Barrier Barrier, typical amp heads prevent all damage instantly. Not interesting. I like the oh, we don't actually have a Gardevoir, unless the Gardevoir is like fairy typing. I don't know. We have go from Volts to Kirlia and Gardevoir. Okay. Cresselia. If there's any Stadium card in play, this type is oh god, I can't read today. Actually, I just like fancy now. This Pokemon has no retreat. So I guess if you want something that has free retreat. I mean, you may as well just put on like a energy. Chances are there's gonna be stadium play, but I don't know. I guess the only reason you'll play this is if you wanted a free computer. That's really about it.